All right, we're back again with two amazing women at this amazing theater for the new city, and there's Bike Shop. This is a play that Liz is going to be doing very soon in this location. So, do you want to talk a little bit about the play?
Yes, it's called Bike Shop. It's about a bike shop.
Where?
Well, it takes place now. I'm just going to say this. I used to own a bicycle store.
Oh.
In Fort Greene.
And she was a bicycle messenger, too.
And I know her from being my spin teacher at the gym.
Yeah, I teach
on a bike.
I teach at Crunch Fitness. I teach spinning. And you know, about 10 years ago, or maybe, no, it might have been 12 years ago, somebody had said, well, you know, your story is kind of interesting. Why don't you write a show about it? So I started writing a one-person sketch on me being a bike messenger, and people really liked it. And I had gone to CrySTaL and said, you know, I think you actually said, well, what are you doing these days? And I said, well, I'm writing a one-person play. And she said, are you singing? And I said, no. And she said, well, why aren't you singing? You need to sing. And she said, if you do it as a musical, I'll produce it. Well, so I said, okay. So 10 years later, it was actually called Belle of the Ball Bearings. We started it, and we did it in 2009 we did in 2008 as a reading with the literary manager Michael Scott Price, who's a doll. Loved him. He's so supportive. And then 1 year later, CrySTaL produced it as a workshop production in the Chino, which is a beautiful space, and Mark McCounty did the set design.
Wonderful
and
set.
Alex Bartenyov did the lighting. I mean, it was...
So is the lighting.
I would listen to people backstage, and I felt like, wow, if I just don't get in the way of the set, it's going to be really good.
I know, but you were it in that show. She
it.
had live musicians. They're going to be, and we're going to do the play again here.
Yeah, I'm in a bigger theater this time.
And Gretchen Cryer, now she has a director, Gretchen Cryer, who is a wonderful director. What's the name of the show that she was famous for?
She is
and
famous.
Getting It on the Road.
No,
What's the name
I'm
of that?
Getting My Act Together and Taking It on the Road by Gretchen Cryer and Nancy Ford. Done originally at the Public Theater, I believe, in 1978. And I just, you know, I was very young when I went to go see it, and I just remember thinking, oh my God, this woman this is what I want to do. Gretchen is like one of the main reasons I got into this business. So, you know, all these years later, to be working with her.
That's
sometimes
amazing.
I just sit there and I'm like...
And they've rewritten, they've edited, they've trimmed it and
brought it
expanded
up to date.
It. And it's really a new
Right.
piece of work.
Yes.
And I'm very proud from the theater's point of view because it's been developed here.
Right.
And that's really what we're all about.
I think it's incredible. I mean, I've known about this place. I've walked by it for a million years, and I feel so lucky to find out all this stuff about it, you know, because there's a lot of artists out here in this town and this country, and this is like a place that is really important for people to celebrate.
I had my own history in the theater. I was part of a regional theater. I've been part of a couple of regional theater programs. I was a member of the first company of Lincoln Center, and we tried at that time, we wanted to have a national theater. We never could do it. In the regional theaters I was in, we never could do it, and there was always problems between the board and the artistic directors, and everyone was always being fired after a very short time, and we just felt there's got to be a place, you know, we've got to have a place where artists are free to experiment, to do new things, to put forth ideas which are not necessarily popular, to be politically...
Well, I mean, if the mother hen is a virgin whore, I would imagine that vampire that you have a pretty open mind.
Indeed, and that's what you need in order to nurture and develop an artist.
Absolutely.
That if you don't have that, it ain't going to happen.
So how does somebody get lucky enough to have you get them under your wing? I'm wanting
Two
it right
different
now.
ways.
I want to be under your
There
wing,
is-
Sit on my
CrySTaL.
set.
Oh, all
There
right.
are two different ways. One is you can apply
Audition.
to our literary manager by sending him the first 10 pages of your script and a synopsis, or you can audition, of
Right.
course, if you're an actor, and you can also volunteer.
Okay.
And if you start out by volunteering, you know that's the way it is in most theaters.
Yeah.
You volunteer and you help with this and you start to do, and we see what you're like. We see whether you're someone we can trust,
Right.
whether you're reliable. You know, some people, they come in, they're all gung-ho, and then, oh yeah, I had to go to the dentist, you know.
Right.
Or, you know, or some
Yeah.
fictitious thing. You know,
My
we
dog
just-
ate my homework.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We say goodbye.
Right.
We just
You need devotion and
Yeah, we need people
passion.
who really want, as Kazan used to say, who are hungry.
Yeah.
Hungry to perform, hungry
Right.
to write, hungry to, you know, that's what we need.
And actually, I think while I'm doing my show, isn't Charles Bush doing one in the
Yes.
theater right next door to me?
He is. He is,
'cause He
indeed.
keeps coming back.
We did his early work. We did Charles Bush's early work, and he comes back and does his new work here because of the atmosphere.
Right.
Because he doesn't have to worry about somebody stepping in. What I meant to say was that my own experience is of idiots
Yeah.
stepping in
I get it.
and telling you what to do when they don't know
Thank
their
you.
ass from their elbow. you know?
I'm an artist, and I
That's-
get that quite frequently.
Or being so worried about the public's relationship to your play, which is in
So what do you
development
think about
form.
censorship?
Oh no, I'm
That's
totally against it.
I would hope so. I could
Absolutely
tell. That's why.
against it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
it has no place in art. It has no place in art. An artist, as Shakespeare said, has to hold a mirror up to nature. We have to tell people what's going on. They may not always like it. As a matter of fact, most times they won't.
or
like
they
it.
catch on a little later.
They catch on a little later, or you sugarcoat it with
Right.
dancing and singing and
Right.
whoop-a-da-ba-da, but underneath, you're saying a lot. That we have an exhibit here in the theater right now,
Okay.
an art exhibit, which is really good. It looks on the surface like very, you know, pastel and very delicate things, but if you look carefully, there's a lot of rage in these paintings. You have to look very carefully at the, well, I'm
So-
not thinking of that one so much as down the road.
Okay, maybe we'll take a stroll.
Yeah.
But so on my show, we like to ask everybody. This is like a little fun part. We like to ask for a skeleton from your closet.
What does that mean?
You know, like a little something that maybe at the time you felt was a mistake or something you got into a little trouble with, and it ended up actually being a pinnacle to like something wonderful in your life. Can you think of one? Liz?
Well,
Oh, I guess it's funny, oddly enough, being a bike messenger, after I graduated music and art, I went to Hunter, and
yeah,
Yeah.
a few years.
I didn't actually graduate. I left after like 3 years. I know it's like
That's okay.
1 year to go. I guess, but I kept thinking, wow, this was probably a mistake. I probably should not have become a bike messenger, and I had to make a living. And then I opened up a bike shop, and then I ultimately ended up closing it. And I remember thinking while I was sitting in my bike shop, I should have gone to Boston Conservatory because, I'd probably be on Broadway by now. But then as years went on, I realized, like, with all the stuff that I'd done, it was actually more interesting. And
And you've
And now you have a
Now
play
I've
about
written
it.
a whole-
Yes, bike
It's,
shop.
if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have met CrySTaL. And but it's so much more than just a show here. It really is a family.
Yeah, I can
atmosphere.
feel it.
It's not. I mean, and CrySTaL never once has micromanaged. She's never said, "Don't do this." She said, "Whatever you need, feel free to do it." I mean, what
Well, we
artistic
will give
director?
We will give advice if we're asked for it. We have to
Right.
be asked for it. If you need a director for your play, we'll find one. You need a composer, we'll get you one. If you want advice on whatever, and once in a while, we do call the writer in after the play's run is over and tell them what we think
Okay.
could be improved about the play. And we also have readings of plays in which the audience is asked to actually suggest things to
Right.
the writer. Now, the writer doesn't have to take those suggestions. It's called Scratch Night. And the audience actually writes helpful hints. And also, our audience knows that they're in a developmental situation. So they're very critical and very interactive.
Right.
Our audiences,
They get into
you know,
it.
oh, they really do.
Yeah.
They tell you what they think.
Right. So,
So-
you are a real resource to so many people.
We are, yes. And I myself, is what I was really trying to say before, is that I could have used a resource.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
this.
everyone could use one of you. I want one of
And
you.
just Judson
She's
Church
mine.
I know.
was.
Get your own.
I
Judson
know.
Church.
I want a
I'll share her.
CrySTaL.
You can have a
So,
little.
CrySTaL, do you have a skeleton in your closet? A little
Oh,
story,
sure.
a little ditty from
Oh,
back
my
in the
Lord,
day?
I have it.
Do you ever wake up under any bridge?
Oh, I can. Off the top of my head, I'll give you the first thing that
Okay,
ever happened.
that works.
We got this place in Westbeth when we started for a year and a half rent free. After about 3 weeks, we were in there working our asses off and making theaters where there were none. We get told by the committee from Westbeth, which at that time was run by a bunch of artists, we don't want you here because we have had a chance to rent this place to a video company. And so please leave. Well, Larry Kornfeld and Theo Barnes said, we don't want any trouble, we're leaving. But George and I said, we're not going to leave. We're sleeping here, and we have a lease, and they're not going to kick us out. So we were very scared, but we did start to sleep in the theater, waiting for them to throw us out. They never did throw us out, but at the same time, Jean-Claude Van Italy, a brilliant writer, said to me, I heard through the grapevine that Theater for the New City is going to get a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts for $12,000. I heard it at a cocktail party. So we went to this wonderful board of artists, and I said to them, we heard that we're going to get this grant, and we will give it to you for a year's rent, okay, if you let us stay. And they proceeded to say, no, because number one, we don't believe you're going to get this grant. It was only heard at a cocktail party. And besides, we have this wonderful company that's going to give us a lot of money, and that's where we're going. And as I cried, and I cried copiously, they said, isn't it wonderful how artists can run a business? So it turned out that they had to do $17,000 worth of renovation, or the video company didn't have to pay them any rent. The video company, they never did the renovation. The video company did not pay them any rent for 3 years.
Wow.
And we moved to the welfare hotel.
Right.
We got the grant. We gave the money to the welfare owner, and we had
And
at
look
least
at you
a
today.
place.
You are a
And that's the
businesswoman.
story.
You really
I'm
are.
a businesswoman
You-
running a nonprofit.
You're amazing.
Let me tell you.
I just want to suck out some of your DNA or some blood and give. I just want a little bit of your
You've
juice,
got
baby.
your own.
I can't thank you enough. I hope we get to talk again.
Yeah.
Is there any last shout outs? Your website, how people can find you? Is there anything you want to?
Well, come see our
Give the-
musical
Oh,
Give
it's
the
wonderful.
dates. Give the
Bike
dates.
Shop. It is running from March 9th through the 18th. So that's Friday through Sunday, March 9th through the 18th. It's every day. And on Sundays, here's one of the little Theater for the New City things. It's pay what you can on the 3 o'clock Sunday matinees. So if you have no money, and here's another thing. We're encouraging anybody who rides a bicycle to ride it to the theater, and you can park it right on my stage.
Oh,
Wow.
It's an interactive show, and you will love it.
And it's Theater for the New City, and it's 155 First Avenue in Manhattan, between 9th and 10th Streets. It's a place that is a living legend, and it's going to keep going.
And ReW, we had such a good time talking
I'm
to
so
you.
glad.
You're
Thank
a
you
wonderful
so much.
interviewer.
Thank you.
I don't
And-
want to leave.
well, we're going to come back again, okay?
Okay.
If you let me, because I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
want to be a fly on the wall in this place. I love it.
We'll give you a part in the next show.
I'll take it. All right, thank you so much. A special edition of WhO signing off on the last day of January. So sayonara January 2012, and it's only going up from here. Yeah. All right, take it easy.